Hello, everyone. I am here to explain the concept of globalization. But before proceeding to this topic, please recall your knowledge in world history and geography, as I will mention several country names and events that happened in the past. All right? So, in your readings, you have encountered the definition of globalization as a planetary process involving increasing liquidity and growing multi-directional flows, as well as the structures they encounter and create. From that definition, I would like to highlight the phrase increasing liquidity. It means that in the global world today, there is an increasing ease of movement of people, things, information, and places. For example, just by sitting at home, you are well aware that there is an ongoing war between Israel and Palestine in the Middle East, that India is heavily devastated by the COVID-19 pandemic, that there is a growing tension between Philippines and China in the West Philippine Sea, and that Myanmar's civil war is ongoing. All of these information are freely available to you only by watching television or by searching them over the internet. Aside from the ease of movement of information, globalization has also brought the ease of movement of things. Try to examine the things that surround you. Your Samsung mobile phone may be made in South Korea. Your t-shirt may have been imported from Nepal. The shoes that you are wearing is perhaps made in USA, and your pants may be made in Japan. Clearly, globalization facilitates the movement of things. As a result, globalization creates competition among various products in the market. With the increasing movement of things, we as consumers are confronted with many choices, particularly on the brand of the product and the place where it is manufactured. So the question now is, would you prefer to buy bags made in China rather than one which is made in Italy? Or would you prefer to buy a bag manufactured in the Philippines? In your readings, you have also learned that globalization pertains to the ease of movement of people. It is called transnationalism, which is defined as a process that interconnects individuals and social groups across specific geopolitical borders. The result of such process is transnationality. This is the rise of new communities and formation of new social identities and relations that cannot be defined as nation states. Transnationalism is evident in Singapore, an island country as small as Biliran located in Southeast Asia. It is a home of various races like Chinese, Malaysians, Indonesians, Filipinos, Indians, and British people. Hence, countries like Singapore may have been experiencing identity crisis on who really Singaporeans are, considering the formation of several identities that live within its territory. I would be very glad to know if you have idea on other countries which share the same problem like Singapore. We have also learned that globalization is like a liquid which is characterized by the flow of information, things, and people. However, there are also barriers which hinder the free movement of information, things, and people. For instance, the policy of former US President Donald Trump on constructing concrete barriers in the US Mexico border was believed to stop as what he described as a flow of illegal migrants, immigrants, and drugs over the border. Another example would be the construction of wall between Israel and Palestine. Israeli officials deemed the construction as a necessary security precaution against terrorism. The Palestinians, however, have decried it as an Israeli mechanism to annex Palestinian territory as it is built deep within the West Bank and not along the 1967 Green Line, the generally recognized boundary between Israel and the West Bank. There are more examples in your readings which you may bring up to the class for clarification. For example, the exit of Great Britain in the European Union, which is called Brexit, the Great Wall of China, and the Berlin Wall. Going back to the definition of globalization, we were informed that such concept is a planetary process. Being a process, globalization does not just occur in an instant. Its occurrence may be a result of something else which can be interpreted in the different perspectives. For example, hardwired, cycles, phases, events, and other more recent changes. A hardwired perspective provides that globalization occurred because of the basic human urge to seek a better and more fulfilling life. Moreover, globalization may also be explained as a cyclical process. It suggests that there have been other global ages in the past, and that what now appears to be a new global age or the high point of such an age is destined to contract and disappear in the future. The third approach to the beginnings of globalization are the eight great epochs or phases of globalization that have occurred sequentially. Further, there are also events in the past which led to the birth of globalization. Such events include the rise and the fall of various empires, the invention of internet and cellular phones, the emergence of world wars, and the creation of multinational corporations. To wrap up, we have learned that globalization is a planetary process involving the ease of movement of people, things, and information. There are various explanations as to the origins of globalization, and it is important to correlate these explanations through the lens of history. All right, so that sums up the discussion on globalization. In our next topic, we will discuss the different theories of globalization. Thank you for listening.